BNP Paribas, partenaire des plus belles histoires de Roland-Garros, aux côtés des ramasseurs de balles depuis plus de 50 ans.
I don't know. I mean, it was one of the best, and maybe not the best in terms of how I was striking the ball. I think I played solid. I think I can, I always expect myself to play better, but I think, considering the opponent's form as well, and the last 16 round and the occasion, I think it was a very good match. I mean, from my side, a very solid performance, straight set win again. So I'm pleased with the way things are going, and obviously the matches only get tougher. So I look forward to the next challenge.
Well done. Just asking you about your next opponent, Sasha. He's one of several younger players. I guess a lot of people are younger than you now, but it's one of several younger players who talk about you as someone who...
He's 10 years younger.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, he calls himself a veteran of the game. I mean, what should I call myself then?
Right, he's a rookie compared to you. But he, he's one of many younger players who talk about you helping them when they were younger. Would you have done that if you'd known you were going to still be playing them at this point and helping them along? I mean, sort of what drove you to give this assistance to this whole new generation that you're still battling against?
Well, I don't think that's something special, I just see it as something that I feel it's normal for me. Like, that's something that I always wanted to do. Like, if one day I would, reach certain heights in the sport, and then obviously convey that, transfer that to new generations and help new players be even better, So I always had that kind of attitude, because when I was younger, I was looking for that from the players that I was looking up to. So, some were more daring or caring to share, and some not. But I do understand that at this level, particularly when you are, at the top of the game with someone, even though you had a great relationship and you still maintain that great relationship, but maybe you're not sharing as much as you used to. And that kind of was the case with, Medvedev and Tsitsipas when they were coming up, and then Zverev, as like when they were really, really young and kind of breaking through. It was more exchanges maybe on some things, whether it was, I don't know, from the just strokes or strings they use, or the way you train or recover and stuff like this. Then, when they get to do top 10, top 5 in the world, it's different. It's a different dynamic, and it's kind of normal to expect that. But nevertheless, whether it's for Menchik or whoever it is for, I tell everyone that I'm available, if they need a call about anything, because I feel like that's what I owe to the game, not just to them, but to the game of tennis. I feel like that's something that is normal for me. In the end of the day, what's the value of the knowledge or experience that you have if you don't transfer it to someone who's coming up?
Hi, Novak. Your serve's a huge part of your game, always has been. I noticed that I think I'm right in saying you've won the toss 3 times out of 4 here, and you served every time. Is your instinct always to serve? What goes through your head when you make that decision?
It's an interesting question, because at the beginning of my career, I was actually, even though I really liked my chances when I'm serving, but I was relying more on the return, so I would start returning. I would always choose the toss. If I get the coin toss, I would choose return. But I don't know, the last 10 years, I would be only choosing to serve. I just feel, I don't know. I just feel that sets a tone in some way. You also send a message to your opponent like, hey, I'm not afraid to start serving. Start the match with this kind of a right statement. Sometimes I start slow and I lose my first service games, and then you start to question your decision making. But no, I don't. I still, regardless of that, I still feel like it's important. It's important for your own confidence and to send the message to your opponent as well. But of course, I mean, it's all different. I mean, I know Nadal, for example, would always choose to receive. So we're all different. I guess it depends also on the surface. I think a little bit when I play with Rafa on clay, he would always choose to receive, but on the other surfaces quicker, then he would maybe vary between the choices.
Novak, congratulations. May I ask a question unrelated to today's match? It's about fake news. Top athletes are often victims of fake news, and there was a story that went viral in many countries, including Brazil, where I come from. The story says that you help out financially the janitor of your childhood school. I don't know if you are aware of this story. Some people say it's fake news, some people say it's AI, some people say it's authentic. I would like to know if it's true. And how do you deal with fake news? Do you try to ignore it, or do you try to do something about them?
Okay, there's quite a few questions there in one question. I'll answer first the fake news. It's, I guess, the part of the media world we're living in today. We're more, I guess, prone to see that happening in the last, 15 years with the development of the social media, and kind of, it almost feels like whoever writes the news first gets the most credit or views, rather than checking for the credibility of the source. Or so then obviously there's always a risk that if you haven't checked and you're just trying to rush to be the first one, then that it's fake. But I don't want to get too much into the story of the janitor. The only thing I can say is that I've been financially helping my school. But that's the only thing. I'm not going to go into to whom personally or what or how much and stuff like this. I feel like it's not a place, or there's no reason to do that. But I try to support my school absolutely, throughout my entire career.
Novak, you've spoken a lot about nutrition and that side of things. I just wondered, over the last few years, how that's evolved. Has that changed at all as your body's changed, or is it pretty consistent with what it was in terms of what you eat, what you drink, that sort of thing?
It varies. There are certain things that I think stay the same when it comes to, I guess, fundamentals of the quality sleep, for example. Some of the calming or breathing techniques that I use. Obviously, the ice baths and cold immersions and cryo chambers, etc. Something I've been using, or hyperbaric chambers for a long time. But I don't have the access everywhere to everything that I would ideally want to, so I have to then adjust myself, and then some tournaments there's this, and the others there's something else. But essentially, when it comes to food, I'm always basically looking, and always curious and looking for the next superfood, or the next thing that can maybe improve my recovery, or whatever it is, or the endurance, or the strength, or whatever it is, So I'm always open-minded for these things. I'm very curious, always researching wellness space, and well-being space is my greatest passion other than sport. So, I look to also grow my presence and my brand in that area, and starting on my own some of my startups and businesses, and that's also exciting, in the nutritional space, particularly in supplements. So it's a saturated market. I mean, it's so many supplements, and it's which one to take. It's quite hard because we're all different, and but the science is improving, so there's always something that you can kind of use as evidence to really go into that area. So I'm always really keen on finding out what's the next thing. And there are some things that are kind of set in stone, even when it comes to food that are important to follow because of the way the biology works. But then there's also the new scientific research and study that comes out with some molecules or some ingredients that are, you know, greatly of a help to an athlete or whoever, you know. But us athletes, we are dependent on our bodies and how well we recover or prepare ourselves, particularly in individual sports. So that's why I think it's very interesting for anyone that is not an athlete to look at athletes and how they, you know, conduct themselves in preparation and food, sleep, what's their regime. I think that you can always take something that can be very useful for, you know, for your life.
We take one more.
Yes, Novak, you said it was very difficult to reach your hotel the other night. Can you tell us a bit more about this trip?
I want to thank the chief of security, who is not here, but he was amazing with his team. At one point, it was quite. People were quite tense here, I must say, for our return to the hotel. They were not suggesting us at one point to go back at all, to maybe find a place to sleep somewhere around here for a night, because at that point was already past midnight and there was some gas bombs and you know, cars under fire and stuff happening on the street that was really dangerous. So understandably, and actually everything around our hotel, which is close to Arc de Triomphe. So so yeah, we in the end we talked, we waited for a bit, and then we decided to go, and then it was fine. In the end, we reached the hotel, all good, but it was quite noisy with a lot of things happening outside of the hotel. So you know, of course, it's interesting in some way to look at from your window what's happening, but at some point it was getting out of hand. But it's understandable that people are so excited. You know, first time Champions League winners for this city. It's one of the most important cities in the world. So yeah, they're all celebrating. They still go. You know, it's gonna be several days, I'm sure, of celebration.